Good afternoon, beautiful people. So this is video 4 in the series, Is Your energy funked up? And today I'm going to be focusing on the very important yet very delicate heart energy. So is your heart energy funked up? And before I get into it, I've already done a few videos. I've done the liver, the stomach and the kidneys. So if you haven't checked those out already, then I recommend you going back and checking that out as soon as you can. So let's get into it, heart energy. So in Chinese, we call the heart the house of Shen. And the word Shen is loosely translated across as spirit. Now in the English language, I just don't think we are very well equipped to deal with matters of the spirit, especially outside the Catholic sort of context. We've got words like consciousness, awareness, mind, and spirit. And these are all kind of vague. The definitions tend to be vague, and they don't really go to any great depth as far as our language is concerned. So this word Shen actually encapsulates all those words into one meaning or into one word. So that gives you a bit of an indicator as to how powerful and how potentially potent Shen is in the heart. And you may have already picked up as well is that the heart energy has a lot to do with our overall sense of awareness, our health of mind, and the health of our awareness, health of our consciousness. So there's a really great metaphor they use in Chinese medicine, and then we say that the heart is like a cave or a house, and that every night when we go to bed, the spirit retreats to the cave and goes to sleep. And when the spirit is sleeping, we go to sleep. And then while we're sleeping, the heart is off doing magical things in other dimensions. I won't go into it here. And when we wake in the morning, the spirit leaves the cave, comes up through the eyes, and then we awaken. So the spirit is with us throughout our waking state, and it has a lot to do with the way we not only see the world, but the way that we relate to the world and each other through the heart, through the spirit, through the awareness. So this is giving us, I'm just setting up the context for how important the Shen is and the heart energy. So there's a saying that we use often, it's when our conscious is clear, it's easy to sleep. But if our conscious is burdened with great decisions, shame, or we've done something that we weren't very proud of, then the spirit, our conscious, is tainted and it's hard to sleep. So in this same manner, this is what we are talking about when we talk about the Shen or the heart energy. It's the house of consciousness. So one of the main signs and symptoms I'm going to focus on here is your heart energy funked up? Is that you experience regularly insomnia. And this is the insomnia where you find it trouble or difficult to get to sleep. There's many different kinds of sleeplessness, but the insomnia, especially related to heart, is the one where you can't get to sleep because the mind's ticking and you're very agitated. So there's a sign, an early sign, that the heart energy is a bit funked up. And it ties into the next sign and symptom, which is to do with, I often see, and I think it's in all cases, that there's an irregular heartbeat or a heartbeat that's quite fast. So the heart is agitated. When the heart is agitated, the mind and awareness is agitated and it's hard to sleep. So they're connected. And what I've noticed in our Western culture, in the modern world really, it's all over the place, is that we are very focused on speed. Speeding things up, doing things faster. We're also very ambitious people. You know, we expect things to happen fast and we expect ourselves to achieve things fast. So we put a lot of pressure on ourselves and the way that we live. We experience and we expect things to be fast. And with this sort of pulse of modern living, which is very sped up, and then we've got caffeinated drinks, we've got coffee, we've got stimulating substances, we've got energy drinks, and, which I'll talk a bit more soon, is that we're using digital devices at night time, which also disturbs the Shen. I'll speak about that soon. Is that we're creating a pulse in the heart rate in the community which is fast, and it's too fast for the Shen to find peace. So I think it's totally connected to the epidemic of anxiety, depression, and mental health problems going into ADD, and those mental states are a very agitated state of being. These are all connected to heart energy, and I think connected to your heart, the quality of your heart pulse. So if it's connected to heart pulse, there is a way that we can learn to regulate and slow down our heart rhythm. This is probably the best way to get in control of the situation, by regulating your own heartbeat, learning how to do that. Basically, the easiest way is slowing your breathing down. When you slow your breathing down, it slows your heart rate. When your heart rate slows down, the brain waves slow down. This is because the current, or the pulse coming out of the electrical pulse of the heart, is 60 times greater than the electrical pulse in the brain. So via the law of entrainment, the brain waves actually follow, and a lot of your physiology is actually following your heart rate. So if you can learn to change your heart rate, you can change the way your brain waves, and this can change a lot of things as well. So again, the easiest way to do this is to train yourself, slow down your breathing, and this will start slowing everything down. So there's actually great power in slow. There's great power in patience. This is a hard one for me, actually, and for many. Being patient, slowing things down, and being content with what is, are all qualities of the heart. Being joyful from the heart. When we're really fixed on the goal, we're sort of usually in a sort of anxious, agitated state, because we're trying to hanker for the goal. And so we aren't enjoying presence, consciousness, awareness, mind as it is now. And this is a major shift in awareness, or a shift in perspective, and how to help the heart energy become unfunked. So breathing is probably the not the easiest, but it's the best, most healthiest, most holistic and way to learn how to regulate your heart rate. And in the yogas, it's all explored all through the yogas, so you can learn about it in the yogas. You can also learn a bit about it in Qigong and Tai Chi. There's many courses online. I've even got a course on Udemy about how to do some breathing practices to slow things down, particularly in the morning, and you can do it in the evening as well. And that will just start changing your perspective, changing the way that you perceive the world, which is massive. So that's the main way. There's another way you can help to calm the Shen. As I said, slow things down. And another way is to reduce stimulating substances like caffeine. Alcohol agitates the heart as well. Excessive meat consumption creates heat in the body, which then agitates the heart. And what I wanted to talk about, the big one, is using digital devices late at night. So as I mentioned earlier, when we wake up in the morning, the spirit comes out of the cave and out of the eyes. So as the saying goes, the eyes are the windows to the soul, and this is so in Chinese medicine as well. We're actually looking at the quality of the eye movements, and if there's a sparkle in the eye. If there's a sparkle in the eye, that's a general sign that their spirit is quite healthy. So what agitates the Shen, because at night time the Shen is supposed to be getting ready to go back into the cave, when we use digital devices late at night, which we haven't really evolved fast enough for that to, be wired into our system, is that we are agitating the eyes. So overstimulating the eyes, which overstimulates the Shen and makes us a bit anxious, and then it's hard to sleep at night. I've also noticed, well, it doesn't take a genius to work it out, but if TV, the editing these days is at such fast flickering that the fast flickering also is stimulating to the eyes, stimulating the Shen. Like if you were to look at the TV or the movies made 10 years, 20 years ago, you'll notice that the editing is much slower. The scene, cuts from scene to scene, is much slower, which is much easier on the neural network. But when we've got so many images flashing so quickly in our face, more than ever before, it's very agitating for the Shen. And I believe, and I've heard many other people say, that exposing children to these fast flickering images at a very young age is setting up their neural network that they need, that they will expect the world to be that stimulating all the time. And when they're removed from that scenario with all the so much flickering images, they have really a hard time being in a world where the images aren't flickering at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because their Shen is so wound up that that becomes kind of like the default setting. And this is not what we want. We want to be able to be peaceful with, you know, a constant scene or slow movement scenes, as well as fast. We can adapt. So watching TV and playing with digital devices late at night is very agitating to the Shen and will disturb sleep. So reduce or remove digital devices, especially after, say, even 6 p.m. reduce. After 8, definitely reduce. After 9, 10, minimize absolutely. So there's some great tips that can help calm the Shen and help any heart energy that may be funked up. So the main sign, just to review, the main sign and symptom I want you to be aware of is insomnia. The heart rate is too agitated. So how to slow everything down? Breathing is the best way. Slowing down your breathing is going to slow down your heart rate and calm the Shen. The second way is reduce stimulating foods, caffeine as such. And the other main one is reducing digital devices late at night and fast flickering images, stimulation, because it agitates the eyes, which agitates the Shen. And for a person who has a healthy heart energy, they've got the sparkle in the eye, they're just joyful to be around. There's a very heart-opening space. I often think of Santa Claus. Santa Claus has always got his heart open. He's ready to hug. He's got rosy cheeks on, and he's always ho ho ho. He's always ready for a laugh. So laughing is actually the sound of the heart. When the heart is happy, when the heart is peaceful, it's easy to laugh. There's a sparkle. It's easy to be joyful. So that's it for this video. Thank you for staying with me. If you have any questions about heart energy, let me know. And in the next video, I'm going to be talking about the lungs. So signing off. See you then. Namaste.